Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam.
So we'll now have the youth correctly. We are right on time here, 5 minutes. So any other the kids, we are, Guruji is going to make it, somewhat interactive with the kids. There are a few kids here, so I request the kids to come in the front. So it is their time, and they are our future. So, and whoever is online, please, I will manage this mute on mute. So when you have a question, let me know. This is for, and others can be there because this is a message for everybody, but focusing more towards our youth, especially the high schoolers and college going students who have so many questions on what is going out there and how to live a more dharmic life with things they cannot comprehend, and who are, especially who are in US, born, brought up here. So please, all the kids, it's all your time. Very good. We have a very good turnout of kids here. So Guruji.
Start with the question. Since today is Amavasya, I had a question about Tarpanas. If the Atma has a new body or life after 1 year of passing away, who are we giving the Tarpanas?
Very good question. Since he's asking about this, I will also explain to you. So we call, for us who are dharmikas, Pancha Mahayajna is talked about in the Shastra. Every day we have to show gratitude, I would say. That's the right word, I think. We are showing gratitude towards 5 different classes of beings. Okay, who are they? One is the Devas, we say. Devas. Now for us, Devas are all also manifestation of the same Ishvara, but with reference to particular phenomena. So like I said, eyes are there, correct? Eyes are able to see. My eyes are seeing. Your eyes also have the capability to see. Even the eyes of a bee has better capability to see, because it can see. I hear some birds can even see multiple, or whatever, they are able to see a bigger field and all that, or owls can see at night. Okay. But all this is seeing, correct? Seeing or sight as a phenomena, if you take, it is manifest in so many countless bodies and different types of bodies and all that. Now that sight is taken as a phenomena and we say it is a Devata. Devata only has the capability to see. The capability to see wherever sight is really the manifestation of that Devata, and that is the Aditya Devata is for sight. Wherever speech is there, or ability to make sound and all that, we say it is Agni. Like this, there are different Devatas are there. So Devatas are the ones who are actually blessing us in so many ways. Okay, for every phenomena, even thunder and Varuna and Indra and all that, we say Devatas. So only when the Devatas are functioning properly and blessing us, we can have a peaceful and happy life here. Otherwise, we'll have problems. If there are no rains, you are going to have problems. Correct? If there are too much rains, also you are going to have problems. So we have to have a certain gratitude that the Devatas are actually blessing us and helping us lead a life here. That is why the Deva Yajna is there. Then next we also talk about Pitri Yajna. Pitri is the question he asked today. Pitris means our ancestors. Now we are not somebody who was just born, correct? Not Swayambhu. We all are here because of our ancestors. And we have to be having certain gratitudes towards our ancestors. And so that is why every day also we can do something, but there are special days for the Pitris when we are giving the offerings. In fact, our concept of time is all very relative. The human beings, we have one day and one night is 24 hours is there, correct? But for the Pitris, it is not like that. For them, one Paksha is one day. That means the waxing and waning phases of moon are there, right? All of you must be knowing. We call it Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. Waxing means moon, it starts from new moon day and slowly the brightness of moon is increasing, correct? Because of how the sunlight is reflected till the full moon day. That is the daytime. So our 15 days is the daytime of the Pitra. Then the 15 days when the moon is waning and it again goes back to new moon day, Amavasya, that is their night time. And again on Amavasya, only they are getting up, correct? That's why we are offering. They have slept through the Krishna Paksha and then we are supposed to, even when you get up, you want something, right? You want to have breakfast and all that. So that is how this offering we are making on every Amavasya for our Pitris. That is a gratitude we are showing to our ancestors. So our belief is that it's not that one person has only one life and everything is over after that. It's not like that. We are all having this body and this body is like only a shirt. That's what Bhagavan says in the Gita, correct? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani. Means what? This body is like a shirt. We are all wearing different clothes, shirts and all that. And then once it is worn out, what you do? You get a new one. Like this body also is similarly only. Just don't think that this is the only life you are going to have or you have had. We have all had a number of lives. We don't know how many. This is the latest one. And this, once this is over, this also you have to leave. You will take up another body. Now he is asking, what if my ancestor has already taken another body? Means if I give the offering, will it go? Means it will go. That's what the Shastra is saying. Whether they have taken another birth or not, whatever offering we give, it is going to satisfy our ancestors. It will bless them. And in turn, they will bless you. Okay? Because the Pitra also, their blessings are also very important for us. So on a day-to-day basis also, many times in India, what we do, we give some food to the crows or some birds and all that, correct? That's, we think that the Pitras come and, or whatever the crow is eating actually reaches our Pitra, like that we have a belief again. Okay, so that way, even on a daily basis, we can do some Pitra karma, or even if you are doing Brahma Yajna, there is also a ritual called Brahma Yajna. Every day you can do after Madhyanikam. All Brahmanas can do Brahma Yajna. There, Pitri Yajna also is there. Pitri Tarpanam you can do daily. Or some people do 96 days in a year and all that. Not just on only on Amavasya and all that. But it's up to you how much you want to do. If there is no end to karma, understand that. If you start doing it, so many things are there. But when I talked about Pancha Mahayajna, this Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, then Rishis also we have to honor, because all the knowledge we are having today, it is all coming from our Rishis. They were the ones to whom this knowledge was revealed, and then they taught to their Sishyas, then they taught it further to others, and like that it is coming on a Guru Shishya Parampara, a lineage is there. One teacher taught to his student then becomes a teacher, he further teaches to somebody, like this it is going on and on and on. So how do we show gratitude to our Rishis? Means every day you have to study something, correct? That is the way we are showing. So Swadhyaya, it is called. Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. This is a mandate of the Veda. Every day you have to study. You have to study. In general, you gain some knowledge. Particularly, you have to study our Aarsha Vidya. That's what, whatever Vidya or knowledge which has come from our rishis, you have to spend some time knowing that. You have to study that. That is very important. And then who else? You have to also Manushya Yajna also we have to do. You have to do something for our fellow human beings every day. In those days, in fact, every day somebody can, they will come and ask. In fact, in villages that custom is there even today in some places, very rarely, but 50 years back and all that, every day they'll, before eating, you have to come out and ask, is there anybody, do you want food? So they always gave food to others and then only they used to eat. Because in those, remember in India, there was no restaurants. In US, all of you are going out and eating and all that, correct? But selling food was considered to be papa. In fact, you cannot sell cooked food. That is the that kind of thinking was there. So remember this, there were no restaurants in India, but people were going from Kashi to Rameshwaram. This pilgrimage and all is happening for thousands of years. Then how did they survive? They cannot take so much food and go from Kashi to Rameshwaram, correct? While traveling, they were going by foot also. So how did all these people eat? Means they ate like this only. Wherever they went, then this, that's what this Atiti Devo Bhava means what? Whoever comes, we always fed them. That is our culture. There were always Annachatras throughout the way. Even today it is there. Every 8 kilometers or something, they had Annachatra because that was the distance which you can travel in a day. And if you then rest there, you will find an Annachatra that which is even today it is dotted like that. The way from Kashi to Rameshwara, if we see, different people had made arrangements so that nobody goes without food. Everybody was always taken care of that way. And then not only human beings, animals also we have to take care of, correct? They are actually working for us. They give their milk and all to us, their products to us. So Bhuta Yajna. So all these things one has to do. That is the main thing. And if you do all these things, then everything is our family like only, correct? Devas are also part of our family. Our Pitris are there, Rishis, who we again count as our ancestors, not even though it is not a blood lineage, but at least through Jnanam, they are there. And then fellow human beings and also all animal kingdom, everybody we have to offer something. And all these offerings do reach them, correct? That is, at least that is our belief, and there's nothing wrong in that. That's how it is. That's what has been said. So one has to do that. And today is Amavasya. In fact, we'll be doing the Karpana. I will do. Your father has finished, I think, already. Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? Yeah.
I have one more question. Why do Rakshasas and Asuras, apart from Prahlada, worship Lord Shiva but not Lord Vishnu?
Whether see, they may, some Rakshasas have worshipped Vishnu also. It's not that they only worship Shiva. It depends on which Purana you are reading and all that. But the idea of an Asura is that those who go along with their natural tendency, correct? Because the natural tendency for a human being also is what? Instinctively we go along with whatever our senses are guiding us wherever. If something is pleasurable, then we want to indulge in that. Nothing wrong. But if you are only doing that, then you are going to end up in problem. Any overindulgence is a problem. Understand that. Even children should understand that. You can't keep eating only sweet, correct? You may like sweet. What is the tendency of a child? If you like sweet means then you keep eating so much chocolate means what will happen? Either you will have some digestive problem or your teeth will become a problem later on. You may not notice it as a kid, but after when you become an adult, then you have problems. So you should not overindulge in anything. But asuras are people who overindulge in things. That's why they are called asuras, because they are just indulging in wherever their senses are taking them. But as human beings, if you want to be a Deva means the one who is going by whatever is to be done, whatever is said, whatever is good for you, correct? Always whatever is pleasurable may not be good for you. But our Shastras are mandating what is good for you. And that if you are able to follow, in spite of having a certain natural tendency, you are actually consciously overcoming that and you do whatever is to be done. Then you are becoming a Deva from being an Asura. That disciplined life is very important. Only discipline will be giving you happiness in the long run. Initially, it may be difficult. That Krishna, Bhagavan says this in the Gita also, he said, Yadagre Vishamiva Pariname Amrutopamam Tatsukam Satvikam Proktam, like that. What is a Satvika Sukha? Bhagavan, when he talks about that, he says, initially it is very difficult. Whatever your parents may be advising you, it is all like Visha, it's like a poison, correct? It's not very easy to digest. It's not easy to do, and you are getting angry also sometimes. You are nagging me all the time. But later on, you will realize, oh, my parents said all these things, they are all only for my own good. Pariname means after some time, then the same thing looks good to you. And sometimes if you did not follow it and later on you repent that actually. So that is why even whatever is initially difficult for you, you have to persist with that, and then you will see that it is really beneficial for you, it is helping you. So this you have to do accordingly. Okay.
Yes, come on.
I have a question.
Yes, yes.
During the Grahanam, whatever nakshatra is on that day, they say that people who are born on that nakshatra are supposed to go out and stuff. What is the reason?
Not only those who are born in that nakshatra. Anybody going out during a Grahanam was not looked upon favorably, because nowadays say even scientifically that what the UV rays are all there more. Even the pregnant women are all not supposed to come out. Okay, even that is a traditional belief which is also validated by whatever they are saying today, which is good. But the Grahanam means some nakshatras during the Grahanam, it is special. You have to do some karma at that time. And whatever you do during the Grahana Kala, the phala, the Adrishta phala is multifold. So generally what we do is, you have to take a bath. When the Grahanam starts, you take a bath ritually, and then you do some japa. Or in case of special nakshatras, like you said, you can even do some particular puja or something, and you do some dhanam and all you can do. Whatever you do at that time. Or simply you can do japa. Even if you do a japa during the Grahana period, its effect is supposed to be multifold. It's very good for you. So then once the Grahanam is over also, you have to take bath. And you should not eat anything during that time, because that food also is supposed to be contaminated. So normally what we do is, well before the Grahanam, only 3-4 hours before, you should finish all your eating. You should not even have any food, cooked food during the Grahanam. All you finish off everything or throw it away. That's it. Then you have to again cook freshly after the Grahanam only, and that is what is prescribed. Okay, so you can follow that. It's a good thing to follow. During Grahanam, do any of these prayers you do, they will all be answered multifold. Okay, you will get better results for that.
I have one more question. Vedic mantras like Uttam and stuff, they generally say women aren't supposed to learn. What is the reason?
The reason is that you have to have the Yajnopavita Samskara, we say, correct? Those who first you go to a guru and In fact, your first guru is your father. So father only does the Yajnopavita and gives you a Gayatri mantra Diksha. All other mantras are given by gurus, but Gayatri is always given by the father. Once you have given the Gayatri Diksha and you start doing the Gayatri Japa only, you become eligible to chant the Veda mantras like that. That is what is the rule. Okay. Now, but in the Kali Yuga, what has happened? Women are not having any Yajnopavita Samskara. Previously, they had, in fact. That is because in Ramayana there is a reference that Sita did Sandhya Vandanam. Means she must have had Yajnopavita Samskara, and that's why she is doing Sandhya Vandanam. The references is there. In the Ashoka Vana, when Sita was there, she did Sandhya Vandanam, and then other Vedic references are there where Rishikas are all there. Even some Rishis are women. They were the ones who received the mantras. In Rig Veda itself, there are many women Rishis are there. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Gargi will come. We are studying. Gargi is there. And Maitreyi learned Vedanta from Yajnavalkya like this. Women were very much part of all these things. But currently there is no, in the whatever we have today, the system is that they say that once you get married, then your husband will wear one more Yajnopavatam, correct? That is for the sake of the wife. So the idea now is in Kali Yuga, you still help in all the Vaidika karma, you will still get 50% punya, whatever your husband is earning. 50% of the punya the wife is supposed to get. But you still assist in other ways because karma, one part of is only that whatever mantra you are chanting and doing, then who is actually going to do all the havis and help the person in actually doing the karma? That if the wife does not help, husband cannot do anything. In fact, without the wife, initially you have to come and give permission, correct? Holding the darba grass. Then only the husband can even start doing something. So basically, it is all some kind of a division of labor. But if you look at it up as some kind of discrimination, then we can't do anything. That's a problem. It's a question of how you look at it. But what the Shastra is saying is, phala wise, everything is same. You get 50%. In fact, the women should make the husbands do at least Sandhya Vandanam every day, correct? Even the Gayatri Japa Punya, you will get 50%. Okay? So don't leave them. So you, because any karma you do, 50% goes to the wife. That is given. That is what the Shastra is saying. So you can help in whichever way you want. But nowadays, in some places, even my own guru actually, if you are a Vedantic student and all that, for purely as a prayer purposes, some chanting and all were taught to everybody. Okay, but traditionally today, still they won't do that. You cannot go and enroll in a Veda Patashala and become, you can't do Veda Adhyayanam completely. That is not there in vogue. Okay, currently it is not there. But you can learn some chanting and you can chant it for your own whatever benefit. But like you asked, this Yajnopavitam and Upanayana Samskara is important for you to learn the Veda. That is a qualification. But women also can do other japa. There are so like Sri Vidya Upasana and all is open to everybody. We have other traditions. It's not the Vedic tradition is one part. Then, but most of the religious activities we are doing are not even Vedika, correct? Not many people are doing whatever is said in the Veda. Instead, everything is based on Purana and Agama. The Agama tradition, women have a lot more role. You all can do Shodasopachara Puja. You can do different mantra japa. All that is open to everybody. And in fact, all children also, you should do what is known as Pancha Upachara Puja at least every day. Correct? Pancha Upachara means 5 things you do. Whoever is your Ishta Devata, you can do the Pancha Upachara Puja. that I think somebody will be able to easily teach you. Sometimes we also conduct classes for children. Actually, they are used to conduct many children. She taught like that. They all did, and I hope they are still doing enthusiastically. But that is something you can do. So I hope I have answered your question. Okay.
So aside from the story, is there a more spiritual reason that we don't worship Brahma? We worship Shiva and Krishna?
Actually, you see, there are some few temples for Brahma only. In Pushkar, it is there. But what they say, an interesting thing, our Hindu tradition went to Indonesia. So there is a Bali island is still there in Indonesia. You know that? I don't know whether you people know. Bali, there is an island. Indonesia has many islands. Sumatra, Bali, and some more islands. The Sumatra and all is majority is Muslim. They all converted some 500 years back, I think. But Bali is still 95% or whatever is Hindu. They follow a very old version of our traditions, and their Brahma worship is still there. Okay. So, like you said, I think that changed because of that. There is a Puranic story and all that why Brahma is not worshipped, and so maybe that became very prevalent later on, and then mainly, or you can say that Brahma's work is already over, so we are not. Because Brahma's work is creation, correct? Creation is already there, that's why we are already here. So, but Vishnu is the one who is protecting and sustaining, so we are more interested in Vishnu. Or Shiva is the one who is going to resolve everything, means Shiva also we are, if you look at it like that, but whenever, whoever is your Ishta Devata, we look upon that Devata as the everybody or everything. He is the creator, he is the sustainer, he or she is the one who resolves everything also. So I think, due to that particular reason only, I think, not because of anything else.
Is my Guruji said Brahma Upasana is happening with Vedadhyayana because Vedam is Brahma, because Chaturmukha
Correct.
Brahma is
Yeah.
holding nothing but the Vedas. So that chanting is Brahma, everything else you are
Correct. That way also, but specifically the Agama traditions are temple based, correct? There are not many Brahma, but Brahma is there in every Shiva temple also. Even in the Lingodbhava Murti, if you go, Brahma will be going up, Vishnu is going down, or sometimes they have in the Gopuram and all, one side Brahma will be there, but there is no separate big temple or worship like that. That reason is the Puranic reason only, because of that story and all that, Brahma was cursed that he won't be worshipped anymore. So I think that is the main reason why we don't have that tradition.
Also, one of the first Devatas, Brahma will be
Correct. They, but not the main date. That's all. Yeah.
Kanti, Jyoti, others? No?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So yesterday you talked about like two different types of dharma, right? And like every person has their innate concept of like right and wrong. Is every person's conception of dharma like different, like their conception of right and wrong, or are there like universal like rules that are like right and universal rules that like frequency is right?
Let's see. Whatever we are commonly sensing, there cannot be any difference in that. Because as I told you, we are all very clear what others should do to us or how others should behave towards us. There is clarity in that. Others should always be pleasant to me. They should tell the truth. They should not hurt me. We are all very clear about that. And similarly, we also know that others also have the same expectation from me. Now that itself is good enough for you to have certain common values like Satyam, Ahimsa and all we say, correct? So these are all Samanya Dharma. There is no doubt in that. But the problem comes is, if you are brainwashed by somebody, then that Samanya Dharma is now gone. Then you can, because somebody has brainwashed you that even being violent is meritorious in some way, let us say. Then the problem comes. then in fact, it is as though that their sense of right and wrong itself is totally different from what we commonly understand. That problem can come, but that is because of some later brainwashing. So that is there. Then we have to deal with such people also, correct? That we have to deal. That's all. We can't do anything about that. If somebody, you don't have to. If somebody is violent with reference to you, then you have to take defensive measures. That is also part of dharma. Nothing wrong with that. So, so that is the thing. I think people can be influenced, I would say, so that their values now seem to be totally different. That way, then everybody's values become somewhat unique, correct? But otherwise, also it depends on your roles. Like I said, whatever roles you are taking, then role-specific duties are there. And sometimes they can also trump the Samanya Dharma because of the role which you have taken. And whatever is correct for a role, you should still go along with that. There is no problem.
Guruji, I have a question I'll ask, as a college student. So I'm going to college, first year of college. And I've already seen it, been in high school here. And I see outside everywhere BLM, right? There is justice that needs to be given, but the justice is not being given, and there is discrimination. And there is this kid who just shot 21 small kids. And so there is all these groups in college, Beta Kappa Phi, or whatever they have their own groups. Everybody is pulling me, this whole conflict is just exponentially grown in my mind. I was a happy, middle schooler, and high school, it started already. And in college, this is no longer I'm focused. I can't even get to my studies. I am so drawn into all this. For a college student, what would be the best way forward for somebody like me here to say, here is how I have to live a dharmic life as a student? What would be your message to somebody like that?
No, even when you are going to college, your primary role is of that of a student, correct? So one problem is if a student becomes an activist, then what happens to the role of the student then? Whether a student should even become an activist itself is a question mark. So as a student, your primary duty is to gain knowledge as much as possible, and that college education is quite expensive here, correct? In US, it's not free. Then if you are spending so much, you should benefit from that accordingly. And so still your primary focus should be on knowledge, gaining more knowledge, and that should be the focus. Activism and all should be later, I think. Once you are earning your own money and all that, and then if you have free time, then you can do activism, whatever is beneficial for the society. We all have to give back to the community some way or the other, whether you are an activist or not. So I think that should be the focus. You should not get distracted by all this activism on the campus. Focus on mainly for what you have gone there, which is basically for your education, I think. So that clarity, if it is there, it will be better. Otherwise, you can get distracted and you may not end up even gaining the knowledge for which you have joined the college. Right? That's a problem, I think. So this activism and all we should keep away. Of course, there are lot of issues are there in the society, and whatever we can do, we should do for that. But as a student, I think even there, the best way you can contribute to the society as a student is first you gain your knowledge properly. You should learn. Then your time will come when you can contribute.
Other questions?
Why the cow has such a preeminent position in the
Cow is very important because without cow there is no Vaidika dharma itself. Because all the Vaidika karma is dependent on the cow and the products which are derived from the cows. So it has a very preeminent place. Even in the Purusha Sukta itself, we are talking about cow. Cow is there, and other than that, what they say is the Indian cow's milk is a substitute for mother's milk. Okay, so even infants can be fed that milk, and so that means cow is looked upon like a mother. That's why, and therefore it is again its status is very exalted. So, so that is again I think being a dharmika and cow is very important for us. Cow as an animal, and we cannot compromise on that. I think really, it has been all our saints and all our Puranas everywhere. Cow is Kamadhenu and all is also cow, correct? Even cow is looked upon as a wish fulfilling tree because it is useful in every way for us. In fact, it takes all our waste and it gives us useful thing, correct? Traditional economy, if you look at it, why the cow is central in that is cow will eat all your waste because if you have rice, cow is eating the bran. Okay, cow will eat the rice bran. Then you harvest the rice. Cow is going to eat the whatever the stock which is left behind. Correct. So you are taking something, and whatever you don't want, you give it to the cow. And what does cow give again? Cow is giving you milk, and even cow dung is again useful for agriculture. So everything from the cow is useful for us. Even without the Vaidika aspect, if you see the rural economy, how it was in India, it was totally dependent on the cows. And before mechanization, bull power was everything. Bull was used for transportation. And traditional oil mills and all were pulled by the bulls, correct? In fact, I am planning to put one such bull-based oil mill now in our place. And then even there, what you take the oil and whatever cake is left behind, it becomes a food for the cow, correct? So cow is always taking whatever you don't want, and then it is giving you something really which is useful to you. So the entire rural economy was cow based. So that's why cows can never be killed like that or slaughtered and all that. We always had a special place for them. And many people are now in fact praising that. In some countries like China and all, they have lost their cow populations like that. So, but we still have the largest, I think, largest cattle population is only in India even today. That's a blessing, I think.
And based on that, now when you live in society, everyone wants to avoid dairy, milk,
Correct, because when it is industrialized, there is a problem, correct? Economy trumps. See, originally cow also was part of the family, correct? We all, even like if you go 30 years back, when we were growing up in our home and all, we were having cows. Then due to urbanization, nobody is able to have cows. And then what it become, dairy has become an industry now. If it becomes an industry, only economy is important, correct? In such a situation, you cannot keep old animals. Even in India, all dairy is violence because no dairy, even which are run by devout Hindus, they can keep the bull calf. Understand that they keep the bull calf for 15 days and then give it away. They say that I don't take any money for it. I have talked to the people who run dairy. So they say that I don't take any money for it, but they all know where it goes. Okay. So they can't keep the bull calf because bull power is no more useful. Machines have come. It has replaced that, and it's not economical for you to keep the bull. So these are all some practical problems. And the way they are treating the animals here is even worse, correct? And in fact, whatever the dairy product itself, I don't think is very healthy for you in US. Because they are giving all kinds of antibiotics and hormones and all that to the cows. And what they are feeding the cows, we don't know. Because they feed non-veg and all to the cow and it gets some disease because of that. And again, they are killing all the cows which are having the disease and all that. It's very pathetic, I think. So that way, if you see the dairy industry is basically only promoting violence against innocent animals. Animals are useful to us, but if we take care of them well and then benefit, they also benefit from us, we benefit from that, means that's a different thing. But if you are just trying to make it like an industry and just exploit, so many things are a problem in that. The product you are getting also is not good enough. But now they are saying all the greenhouse gases are all mainly because of all this cows. The cows are giving up so much methane that is causing all the problems because of the industrial scale breeding of cows. That is having other problems. So these are all issues which has to be addressed, I think. So if you avoid dairy product in US, it is okay, I think. Not a bad choice.
Okay. We are right at time. Any other questions for those who are on the line? Anybody online who has a question?
Yeah, I'll ask question.
Okay, go ahead.
This is like, my question, kids may not ask this question because when they're after, maybe like parents, they ask about what will happen. My parents came here, I'm just saying that what kids think. My parents came here, we are born here. They are actually trying to implement what they actually, what they saw in India and here. Just to follow, do the puja daily. That is on a weekly basis, which they may or may not have done in India, they are actually doing the same dish. At the same time, what we see at home versus what we see outside is completely different. And the traditions are different. And we are confused. So basically, like we are living in a different world, but trying to be like be as a typical Dharma. So we are confused. What to do? What to do? So you are trying to
Correct. See, that's what it's a confusing
they
thing.
will ask this question because they are
That's
saying,
why the children also should be given proper knowledge by the parents, correct? See, if it is their own conviction that I am choosing a certain lifestyle because I am convinced that this is the best for me, then it will work out. It is not going to work out just because you say, maybe you can force them to do when they are young. But once they become teenagers, they will rebel. They will not listen to you and all that.
exactly.
So what are you going to do about it? Means for that you have to be well informed and you should be able to communicate our vision properly to the children. Then you can say Yathet Tatha Kuru, like Bhagavan said Arjuna, correct? Our tradition is not forcing anybody to do anything.
Exactly.
It is about giving knowledge. In the light of that knowledge, then let them make the proper choices, correct? You should let them, of course, as up to 12 years, 13 years, you can make them do certain things. Disciplining them up to a certain age is good. But beyond that, you can't do anything. But by that age, you should have also given them proper knowledge so that once they become independent, they are able to make the right choices based on in the light of the knowledge which you have given them. So that is the important thing. That's how it will work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I think it will be a difficult thing for both the children and the parents.
Even from the 12 years also, more than 50%, they are not reading from the parents' part.
Correct. If the parents are not informed,
because they miss some other things in there.
or sometimes it may be also that you don't do anything, correct? You have to be a role model first.
Exactly.
If parents don't do anything, you are forcing your child, means they will say that, no, why should I do? You are not doing yourself. That is also there. Parents are the first acharya, but acharya means achara is important. Acharya means one who not only says, but he is teaching by doing or following whatever the teaching which is being given. Then only you can be an acharya. So that is important. So
So what is the dharma, right? This is the most important thing, right?
see in the modern world, confusion is there everywhere. See, not just here. India is equally good or bad because it's all internet is there, all satellite TV is there, everything is spreading everywhere very quickly, including viruses. Correct. So 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 we are all in somewhat similar boat. See, that's why my Guruji started that Vedic heritage teaching program and all that, because traditionally whatever was coming through within the family itself, like grandmother and whoever parents and all, they taught children so many things and we picked up through osmosis and all that. That is no more possible because parents themselves do not know. So we wanted to give a certain curriculum for 10 years, during the schooling years at least, we teach them about our own heritage. But this is an heritage which is common for the entire mankind, but still it is a special heritage of ours, correct? As descendants of Bharata, it is a special duty that we have to appreciate the heritage and take it forward. But unless you are made aware of the greatness of this heritage, what will be the motivation for the children to even protect it? So again, it's all about only education. Either you educate them or you send somewhere. And of course, even if you send somewhere, the problem is that if you do not, they are teaching something in Balavihar, but my parents themselves are not doing anything according to that, means that's going to cause a problem. That problem will be there. We can't do much about it. In spite of that, some children, they may become, they may pick up on all that. That is their own prarabdha, I think. So there is hope for everybody. Even I have become a Vedanti means I was no good in my childhood and all that. Okay. As a college going kid, I was as good or as bad as anybody else who are currently here in US also. So if I can change, anybody can have that. Okay. So I don't see it as a big problem. But what I feel is once you give certain things, even if you feel that they are not following and all that, but they will come back once they become adults, and that original samskara will come back. You have to be patient. That's all. It's not going to go anywhere.
So there is still hope for us. Any questions?
Okay, so actually, the question, why, like in like many like scriptures and like Vedic heritages, like we have like different like rituals and like practices that are like outlined. Is there like a specific reason to do those rituals and stuff other than like for discipline purposes, or is there like a spiritual?
The specific purpose is the adrishta, I said, correct? See, we believe that every action has two results. I already told that. But our particular life also has started with a set of karma, we say, in which both papa and punya are there. Now, what is the avenue for you to neutralize the papa, which you know will unfold? Correct? Papa means it has to unfold as an unpleasant experience. But I don't want to face any unpleasant experience. Then what do I do about it? That is where all these karma, again, the prayers and rituals are all for producing adrishta. Prayer is a very conscious and willful activity, but the primary purpose of prayer is to produce adrishta. Although the drishtapala also is there, because when you are praying, at least you have a certain sanity, correct? You have some peace of mind. While praying, you have some hope. So there is a drishtapala there, but prayer is mainly to produce adrishta, which will neutralize your papa and enhance your punya so that you have a peaceful life. Okay. So it is for that purpose mainly. But regularly doing anything is a discipline, correct? That discipline is giving a lot of benefits for you. So since everyday Papa Punya is going to unfold, everyday prayer also is there, and that everyday prayer, once it becomes a certain discipline, that is now helping you. It will help you in all other pursuits also, correct? Wherever, if you are a disciplined person, you can then engage in anything and become successful in that.
Like, I didn't know like what atheism was like until like 8 years ago, but now I see like even Indians, many people are deciding that they don't believe in God because they haven't been they've always prayed, but they haven't been as successful as they wish, or happiest they wish. How can I help people like that in the community?
Correct. See, that's what our tradition is not even use the word they don't believe in God, correct? That is the problem. So for us, God is not a matter of belief. You should have certain understanding about our vision of God or our vision of Bhagavan or Ishvara. So when I say all that is here is Ishvara, it's no more a belief. You have to then ask me, how is that? That why are you saying that all that is here is Ishvara? How does it make sense? So that is something to be understood. Because whenever somebody says, I don't believe in God, you should ask him to define that God which he does not believe in, correct? Because unless you have a concept of God, you cannot say that, then only you can say whether you believe or you don't believe and all that. So what is it that he is not believing? If you ask, I will even help him to further not believe in that, because his idea about God itself is not proper. So the thing is, if you are able to give the correct vision about Bhagavan, and then there is no other, once they understand that, there is no other choice, I think. Then you can follow whatever is the order which is there. And then you have a certain lifestyle will automatically follow from that, I think. If you have internalized a certain vision, then your life will flow from there. So then there won't be any confusion like that.
Anybody online who has a question, or we'll end the session now?
I had one question, if that's okay.
Yes.
Oh yes. Hi, Swamiji. Namaste. This is Jitendra. I had a quick question about kind of the correlation between a specific diet or being focused on maintaining a specific diet and attaining certain gunas. So how the correlation between eating something can affect whether you are achieving a more sattvika guna or like a rajo guna or tamo guna or like that.
Yeah, diet is very important. What we eat is very, very important, because what you eat only is becoming a part of your body, correct? Not only becomes part of your body, we also say that the prana which is there in our body then takes the essence of that, and then it is distributing it to all your organs and even your mind. So basically what you are eating is going to affect your body, your senses and your mind also. So that's why we have to be very careful about what we eat. And again, even in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan talks about sattvika food, rajasika food and tamasika food. At least the tamasika food we have to avoid. We don't eat something which is 2-3 days old or which is too pungent and all that. Puti paryushitam and all like that, Bhagavan uses some words. So, or you avoid that which is making you dull or lazy. In fact, anything if you eat too much also, it will make you dull and lazy, I think. So even the quantity also is important. Quality of the food you eat is again very important, because that's what will is going to affect your body and mind. And we want to have a peaceful and a pleasant disposition. And physically also you want to be fit, correct? Without that, there is no quality of life, I think. If you do not have a fit body and fit mind, then what kind of a life you will have? It's very difficult. So we have a duty towards maintaining our body and our mind. And as part of that, you cannot just keep eating anything. Just because something tastes good, also you cannot eat it too much. So in all these things, some moderation is required, and some discipline in terms of what we eat also is required, and also it depends on even some days and all that. Correct? We can when you can eat certain things, or if you go to an Ayurvedic physician, they will even see what is your body type and all that. Correct? Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, like that. We have a certain model, and based on that, they can even give you certain diets which are more beneficial to you. So if you are very particular about that, you can even get some consultation from some Ayurveda person and decide on what diet you really want to have. So that will be beneficial, I think. Okay.
So I have a question from yesterday's talk. I guess yesterday I didn't ask the question, it was getting late and everybody was getting hungry. So my question is everything preordained and predestined, or can you change the current situation and circumstance by prayer or thing or
Yeah.
thing doesn't
See,
mean that-
everything is preordained is not the thing, correct? That's what I told you. It is like Prarabdha is the one which is starting. That means some preordination is there. Because whatever you have to face, pleasant and unpleasant experiences is there. That's how this whole, that's why you got a particular body also, correct? Even why did you get a particular parents? Everything, all the background as a child, whatever you had, it's all not in your control. But all those things you went through, that is all some karma is unfolding. But once you have a free will and you can do things means, then you also have the capacity to neutralize that papa and enhance the punya and all we are saying, correct? That's where your effort also plays a role. It is always a function of both. You can't say that this is preordained and all that, or some only for few things we do say that, but not everything is preordained. But some important things in your life, they say it is prabala prarabdha, means the prarabdha is very powerful. Means it will most probably then happen. The probability of that happening is very, very high. So that even the astrologers can predict that. So it is like that. Both are there, but we have to say.
So is that Prabal Prarabdha some fixed things that are always there, like, but these are the things that are always.
Mostly even like Prabala Prarabdha, all they say that even your spouse, when you will get married, these are all some things which are mostly they can, even the astrologers can predict it very accurately most of the time. What
Sorry?
astrologers who are good, the Jyotisha, they can predict all these things by looking at your horoscope, the major events in your life, mostly, but not always. Okay. Your whatever you want also is important, or whatever you are doing in terms of your daily prayers and all that, that also will have an effect. So it is like that in Mahabharata also, Arjuna should have died. Okay. But then Krishna pushes him down so that only his crown is knocked off by Karna's arrow. But even there it is like death only for the Kshatriya, they say. To lose the crown is like as good as dying. But then still he had to go through that. Even though Bhagavan was on his side, that's why at least instead of losing the head, he only lost his crown. So that is what, so by doing all the prayers and getting Bhagavan on your side, whatever comes to your neck will at least take away your crown and you are still there. We will end with the prayer. Yes. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitaha Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।